Hello and welcome back to Grim Survival. Today I'm going to show you how to take this and turn it into jerky using this. Let's hope this works. But hey, I'll post the video even if it doesn't work, just so you know how I failed. Hey, stay tuned. Alright guys, we're going to need a few essential things here to make this happen. Obviously we're going to need the meat, and what I'm using here is top sirloin steak. Don't worry, I'm only going to use a little bit. The rest of it's being grilled for dinner. So, yeah, keep that in mind. You're going to need a Pringles can. Doesn't matter what flavor. It doesn't. Whatever flavor you like. I emptied it. Obviously, I don't like Pringles. Kids did it. And I just rinsed it out. It still smells like sour cream and onion, I suppose is the same. I don't like Pringles. They're not real. Anyway. You're also going to need a piece of screen or a way to make a piece of screen, because we're going to need to use that. Obviously, making jerky needs airflow. Airflow and some heat. It'd be very helpful if I had a meat thermometer and a cutting board. I did not bring either one of those things with me, but that's okay. You're also probably going to need a way to attach the screen to this and a way to process things. So I'm going to be using my Leatherman for the meat. I may be using the kitchen knife, but maybe. I think the Leatherman's sharper. So personally, I like peppered steak. Pepper will keep the flies and anything else away. So I have, black pepper here. All right. This is going to be fun. So first things first, I'm using a pen. Here, I will make you a little bit closer and a little bit farther down. You can see all the junk on the table here. The lid for the Pringles can. Oh, one thing I forgot to mention, you're going to need a couple skewers. I forgot to bring them in. I do have them with me. I got a couple metal ones I'm going to use, but this could be done with sticks too. Keep that in mind. So what I'm going to do here is measure out my piece of screen so I can make a cut. You need airflow to make the jerky. You really do. So basically, I'm just going to draw this out. I'm going to draw it a little bit smaller. You see, that has a cut in it. That's not supposed to. So I'm going to see if I can trim that up here. That's not going to work with the cut in it, obviously. The screen is to allow it to have airflow and keep the critters out. The insects really is what you're just keeping out. Although this time of year, it's not too bad with bugs and flies and things like that. Temperatures are dropping pretty low. Today is actually going to be almost 80 degrees. It's still September, in case you're wondering. Where's that mark I have? Yeah, I'm sorry if this is loud and obnoxious. But, survival hacks can be loud and obnoxious. So let's just draw a good idea of what that's going to look like. There and there, and we'll cut inside the line so we have overhang on the screen, somewhere in that area and somewhere in that area. This does not have to be perfect, and it does not have to be exact. So I got scissors on here I'm going to consider using, but to start the hole, obviously I'm going to need a knife. Sorry for my head being cut off. I need you to be closer so you're seeing it in an odd angle. I hope you can see what I'm doing here. I'm just going to start a hole inside of my line. My line is right here. So my hole is, I'd say about ½ an inch inside of it. That's going to give the screen some overhang and allow it to be taped down. Okay, Pringles cans are a little thicker than I thought they were. Didn't know. So I'm going to be very careful. Always be careful with your knife. I got to mention knife safety in the video. I don't know why I got to mention it. Okay, so yeah, here's one of those don't try this at home disclaimers, because you might cut your own fingers off, and if you cut your own fingers off, it's not my problem. You did it to yourself, so yeah, suck it up. Right? Alright, that was a joke. I was joking. Not really. Okay, kinda. You can decide whether I was joking or not. I am doing this delicately. I am attempting to not break the Pringles can. And just a disclaimer, I have never done this before. I've never done this before. This video is being created as somebody I know wants me to create this video. They want to know if this works. So I was volunteered to do it. And here we have it. Might need to be just a little wider. I know I got plenty of room on the screen. If you can see my holes here, I'm just trying to get the screen so it can go over the holes, which you can see I got plenty on the ends on either side. If you can see that, I got plenty on the ends on either side. I need to cut, basically I'm using my first cuts here to mark. So I need to go about right here and try to get the holes to line up on the edges. And from that point, it's really easy to cut it out. This is going to be one of those things I skip ahead right about here. Alright guys, as you can see, there's a hole. There's the piece that came out of it. Now the reason we use Pringles cans for this is can you see the inside lining? It's very reflective material. It's almost like Mylar, almost. I mean, it could possibly be, I don't really know. It could be a thin layer of Mylar, just for preservation purposes. So we have our air vent. It's good enough. It don't gotta be perfect. It don't. We rednecking this. Next thing we're going to do is we're going to attach the screen to it, and we're going to do that with our Gorilla Tape. So I'm just going to make a loop around, make sure it holds on either side. If I have to, I might put a strip along the edges here just to hold it down, but I really don't think that's going to be necessary. We'll see in a minute. First, I got to start the tape. I have issues starting tape. I really do. I have issues cutting tape. I use knives. I don't, you know, I can rip it sometimes I can't. You know those people that do it really nice, they go and it's just done, and you know, you look at them like, how'd they do that? That's me. I'm the guy who looks at them like, how'd you do that? See that? See, I'm already having issues. I need a third hand. Maybe a fourth too. Alright, let's just get it started. I've just taped my thumb to the Pringles can. Can you see that? Do not tape your thumbs to the Pringles can. I have no idea what that was. Really, the biggest problem I'm having here is being delicate and not crushing the Pringles can, because it really just feels like it wants to be crushed. So, to be even more delicate, I can't see where I'm cutting. Yeah, I think I cut through several layers of tape. Oops. Sorry if that's loud. I have the external microphone right here on the desk, and I know it's flashing red at me when I do things like that, so yeah, sorry. I did that on purpose. I hope you enjoyed. Probably not. Alright, let's get the other side started with the tape. It's easier doing it that way, and then just pulling it around. Sorry if you can't see too well. I am not the best cameraman while I'm doing things. I realized that the other day on my camping trip. A lot of times I'm doing things and I'm just not getting it good enough on camera. Alright, can you see it? It's completely covered. It's really sealed on either side, so I don't need any more tape on there. So that's going to be it for the Pringles can. Now, we'll get back to putting the meat on there in just a minute. Before I do that, here, let me adjust so you can see that I'm talking to you. Before I go and process the meat and cut some strips or cubes or whatever I end up cutting to put in here, I'm going to go get my skewers, because I left them in my vehicle, and I'm going to wash my hands. Clean hands for jerky. You don't want bacteria from your hands on your jerky because, yeah, obvious reasons. It's better to have really lean meat. I don't know if you can see that, but there's some veins in here. So I'm going to try to just cut very small strips around the veins of fat and basically get the leanest cuts I can for the jerky. Alright guys, hands are clean. Pringles can's over here. I got the skewers from outside. Now, if you're doing this with sticks, or if you have some of these, you want to make sure it's longer than your Pringles can, because essentially you need this to go through the lid and out the bottom, all the way through. And I'm going to pre-do the hole before I put the meat on here, but for right now, meat processing is next. You can see this one's a little bent. These things are metal. They've been used before, obviously. I have two of them. I'm not sure if I'll use both because I don't think I'm going to make that much. So I think just one, and I'm going to put probably 4 or 5 strips on here because this is really just a testing purposes. Like I said, I've never done this before, so you're along with me for the first try. Wish me luck. All right, one other thing to note is I forgot to bring a cutting board, and I am not going back to get one. So I did have this in my backpack. Even though when I did my bug out bag, I usually have some of this in my backpack, and I think I had just missed it in one of my pockets because it was in there. So here's the steak, obviously, steak. This it was previously frozen. It has been in the refrigerator all night thawing. I believe it's mostly thaw. I don't know if it's 100% thaw. So we have a kitchen knife here. Yeah. And I'm looking for just a spot on here that's very lean, like I was talking about earlier. And I'm going to cut, I don't know if you can see that. I'm not left-handed, but we'll try this anyway. I should have bought a fork, but hey. Now I'm going to cut, trying not to touch the meat just because I know I will have to eventually. And believe me, I am not a chef. I don't know anything about cutting meat. I'm not a butcher. I don't do this kind of thing. I do know how to cook basic things, like I can grill this steak all day, but slicing it properly, probably not. So you can see that I'm going to cut 3 or 4 of these really thin. There's a little bit of fat on the end of that one I'm going to trim off, and I'm going to put them on the skewer, and that's going to be jerky. Hopefully that's going to be jerky. I'm going to try this knife. It's way sharper than this thing. I need to sharpen this thing, obviously. So I'm just looking. I don't know if you're supposed to cut against the grain, with the grain. I don't know. I really don't. I'm not, like I said, I don't do this kind of thing. But I can tell you this knife is way sharper. So I'm cutting off this corner here. And then I'm going to trim this corner down to jerky size. There is really no size of any size of jerky. It's not like a predetermined, this is going to be this size, and I'm not measuring this out properly or anything like that. Basically, I'm just trying to cut it small and thin. Little chunks like that, small and thin. Now, obviously, in a survival situation, you probably wouldn't come across a cow. And if you did, if all you're making is these little things of jerky after you've processed the cow, then I'd have to question your sanity. You'd need a lot more Pringles cans, let's just put it that way. Building a smoker, things like that. So like I said, you're probably not going to come across a cow, but you can dehydrate pretty much any kind of meat. Fish, rabbit, squirrel, small game can be dehydrated. And that's all jerky is dehydrated meat. So I will trim some of the fat off of this. There's just a little bit there I don't like. The first piece I cut was actually the thinnest one, so I'm not sure. Maybe the kitchen knife would have worked better. Maybe. That's fat there. I'm wiping my mouth with my sleeve. Don't worry. I'm not touching my face or anything like that. Hygiene, right? Hygiene. This pretty thick chunk of meat right here. I'm going to just cut it in half. Make it as thin and as small as I can. Alright, there's several pieces. I think that's going to do for the test. I'm going to get this steak back in this bag, go wash my hands again. Then I'll come back and do the skewer and then put the thing on there. And then I'll have to wash my hands again. Alright guys, hands are clean, meat's back on ice. You can see I got the Pringles can here, the lid's on it, still intact. I'm just using one of these. Obviously I don't have, I could use both, and I really could put them side by side, and I could put a lot more meat on this, but I'm eating that steak for dinner, and yeah. Anyway, I'm going to try to show you here. We'll do it this way so that you can see. I'm going straight through the lid. Now, this thing has a point on it. It's fairly sharp. It should be enough to get through this plastic. Should be. Kind of drill it a little bit. You don't want to crush the can. That's the biggest thing here. Don't crush the can. Okay, we have successfully entered the can, and we will get through the other side. The other side's actually metal. So what we are going to do is pre-cut a hole, because that skewer just, yeah. So I got this thing set in my lap. I'm holding it with my legs, Leatherman on top, and I'm going to try to hammer through just a little bit. There you go. As you can see, I got a little hole there. That's all that's really required. Some stuff had fallen off of this. I'm just going to put it in there, make sure it fits. Try to line up the hole here. This is a little harder than it looks, actually. Holes obviously. Oh, that was loud. Wow, that was really loud. But now we have a hole that it's definitely going into. And as you could hear, it's definitely going to hold it. So, here's our meat. Here's our clean hands. We're about to dirty them again. We got to put the meat on this. So, there's just a little bit of fat on a couple of these pieces. It shouldn't be a problem. Really shouldn't. We hope. So, I will definitely test it. If it works, I know what to look for in jerky. When it's done, I will tell you right now, and we'll probably talk about it again, but when it's done, you'll see it start to fold over and develop a lot of cracks. It'll obviously not be this bright pink color. It'll be jerky colored. That one, a little loose. I'm keeping them evenly spread apart, as even as I can. And, yeah, so there it is. That's my skewer. Shish kebab time, right? Alright, first we need to take it all back off there because I should have put the lid on first. Ha! I'm not editing that out either. I'm not. Mistakes, people. Mistakes are life. If you don't learn from your mistakes, then you are not living your life properly. Let's make sure this is on correctly and in the right spot. Not crushing the lid is really key here. There we go. Now we're going to skewer some meat again. This part I might go ahead and skip because you've seen me do this once. Ladies and gentlemen, this is how it should work, or look and work. This is definitely, yeah, the way. I will clean the dust, don't worry. So I'm going to put this in here. Punch it through that hole just a little bit. Now, it doesn't have to go all the way in, obviously. And try not to stab yourself. And just get the lid sealed on there. That's key, is the lid sealed on there. Alright, can you see the meat? The meat is in the can. The last piece is way up there, actually. So I'm going to try to back it out just slightly. Because I want it mostly centered. Sorry for that noise. That is very loud, obviously. That last piece just, you know, it's not moving very well. So it's in there. I hope you can see it. Yep, you probably can. There's what it looks like from the front. Alright, next step is to go put this in the sun and make some jerky. So I'll get back to you after I wash my hands again. Alright, like I said, this is how we redneck it. This is just a milk crate, and I have suspended the skewers there. Now the premise is solar dehydrator. You want the temperature to get up to about 120 to 140 degrees if I remember correctly. And with the sun beating on it all day long, which I'm going to try to just adjust it a little bit, get more sun directly on the can, less on the crate. Yeah, it's not too bad. It's actually suspending it really well. So yeah, we're going to keep it like that. You can see the meat's in there. I'm going to try to tell you the time without messing up the video. I don't know if I can. Okay, it's 10 a.m. This is like an hour and a half later than what I really wanted to do this. It's 10 a.m. You're going to need a full day of sunlight to get this up to temperature and dehydrate it. So hopefully we get there today. So I will check back in an hour. Alright guys, it's only been 5 minutes. I came out here to attach the watch, and I also put a camera up. You can see 10:05, that's the current time. I also put a camera up to see it from inside the house, make sure nothing's out here messing with it, because we got, you know, stray cats, and people don't watch their dogs in this type of neighborhood that I'm in. This also has a thermometer on it, this watch. I don't have a meat thermometer with me, unfortunately. It currently says it's 70 degrees, but I just brought this from outside the house, so that's probably not true. But with it sitting in the sun next to this, it'll probably give me a fairly decent reading of what it might be inside of there. I will attempt to get the meat thermometer before the day's over. Okay, so check back with you in an hour. Alright guys, this is our 11 a.m. update. And there's the current time. There's the jerky. Hopefully it's jerky. It's meat currently. It looks like it could become jerky. Definitely. That's the purpose here. The current temperature is 93 on the watch, which gives me a lot of hope that it's going to hit its optimal temperature inside the can of anywhere above 120 to about 150 degrees is where it needs to be. So, alright. Yeah, current weather outside is actually 65 degrees. So that's saying it's over 90, 65 degrees. Yeah, I think it's going to work. Hopefully I have enough daylight hours to get it to work. But hey, check back in an hour. Alright guys, it's not quite the hour update. If you can see that, 11:46. I came out to check the temperature because... Okay, this is still saying 90 degrees, which is a good sign. It's gotten quite a bit hazy out here, so I'm not getting full sun anymore. I'm getting periods of full sun. I'm hoping this is still going to work, but I really don't know the internal temperature in there. And, well, the black tape feels very hot. I'm starting to get some shadow creeping up in this area, so I'm just going to move it slightly. I am seeing a little bit of bugs in the crate, but nothing's inside of here, and yeah, it's looking okay. I'm getting a good breeze coming from one direction, but you know, it's still supposed to get into the almost 80 degrees today, so let's hope this works. I guess there are other ways you could heat this up if you needed to in a survival situation with a skewer or a stick or whatever you're using. You could suspend it and start like a very, very small fire near it. I wouldn't put it directly under it, but I'd put it near it, because obviously the Pringles can will catch fire, and yeah, then you'll end up with cooked jerky, or cooked steak and not jerky, yeah, I guess. But I don't know if you can see it in there. It's looking like it's starting to work, so I'll check back probably in about an hour. But yeah, temperature, yeah, it's somewhere right around 90 it says. Alright guys, we are back again. It's been just a little over an hour since our last check-in. The thermometer here on the watch is saying 100.6. That gives me great hope with the hazy weather that I'm having that it is over 120 degrees in there. And I don't know if you can see it very well on the camera, but that bigger chunk there on where's my finger? There it is. That bigger chunk there is looking like jerky, like pepper jerky. So it really is. I can't really see too much of this one over here on the far side. Looks darker than the rest actually, but these are not uniform size. Some of them are thicker, some of them are smaller, some of them are thinner. So yeah, I believe that this is going to work. So that's my hopeful update for a little past, or a little before noon, or is it past noon? What time was it? I forgot. Yeah, it's just about 1 p.m. now. So yeah, I'm going to head back in, have some lunch, check back in an hour. Alright, we are back for the 2 p.m. update. Current weather outside, according to the app, is 75 degrees with 46% humidity. So keep that in mind. Makes it a little warmer feel. This is saying 100.8. And I don't know if you can see it very well on the camera, but it is definitely starting to look like jerky. Alright, back for another hourly update. It is now 3 p.m. We've been out here since 10, so yeah, you can do the math. I'm sure you know how to count. Temperature right here on the watch is 102.4. It's definitely over 120 in there. I don't know if you can see it, but I'm going to try to show you. That is definitely looking like peppered beef jerky now. Alright, we'll check back. Alright, we're back for yet another hourly update. If you're still watching, I thank you very much. Don't forget to give us a like over here and hit that subscribe button if you have not done so already. I'm going to show you what the temperature of the watch says sitting here, 99, so it's a little cooler than the last time I checked. Yeah, it's still looking pretty good in there. It's definitely got that dark jerky looking color. I'm sure the smaller pieces are actually doing a little better than the bigger piece, so you know, it looks edible to me already, but I'm going to give it some more time out here. We've only been out here for about 6 hours with this, and obviously if you cut smaller, thinner pieces, it would be a little quicker even. So yeah, not doing too bad. Hopefully it'll be nice and edible by the end of this video. We'll see though. Alright, I'm a little early this time. I am 4:57. This thing is definitely cooling off, 91.8. I'm thinking that's done. We're gonna lose the light here in about an hour anyway. So I'm gonna give it about another 30 minutes, and I'm gonna bring it in, and I'll show you. The next clip you see is gonna be me unpackaging this and trying not to kill myself. So wish me luck. All right. The official time of retrieval is going to be 5:47. it does look jerkied in there. So I'm taking it in, and I'll show you in just a minute. Alright guys, here we are again, back where we started. I'm going to take this watch off of here and just demonstrate the time from the last clip here. It is 5:49 now, so if you can see that, 5:49, digital display down there. Last temperature reading, I didn't really get. It says 82 now, but yeah, that's been 2 minutes ago. I haven't touched it, obviously. This is a milk crate, in case you're wondering. I did not steal it. This has been in my family for years. I could not tell you who did steal it, but obviously. Alright, let's get that out of the way. Can you see? Alright, you can see. I will definitely get the camera a lot closer once I extract all this. Oh yeah, that's definitely jerkied. That is without a doubt jerky. Without a doubt. Alright, let me get over here to the camera and show you. This is jerky. Can you see it? I hope it focuses. I'm going to go ahead and take the first piece off here. This is the piece I've been watching most of the day. Yeah, I'm just going to set it on the desk here. So, hopefully it will focus pretty good. There we go. We're focusing. We're trying to focus. Look at that. That looks like jerky. Looks like pepper jerky. I'm peeling it apart. There's the inside. Alright. Alright, I'm gonna take a page out of Alaska Prepper's book from a video I watched him make the other day. If for some reason I don't make videos for the next several days after I eat this, you know it wasn't good, okay? But I am gonna eat it right here. There we go. It's not peppered enough. More pepper. It's jerky though. Yeah, it's jerky. I actually think it worked. Now, we had it in there for just under 8 hours. Yeah, just under 8 hours. I think if I'd have started a couple hours early, maybe if it was a little hotter, it would have, I don't know, smoky flavor would have been nice. Marinate it, whatever. This was just a test to see if I could preserve it. So what I'm going to do with the rest of this is put it in a, no, it's not that chewy, it's just bad teeth. Yeah, I'm going to put the rest of this in a Ziploc, and I'm going to try it again tomorrow. Yeah, stay tuned for that, if I'm still alive tomorrow, right? Alright, I'm going to eat another piece of this, because it wasn't bad. Yeah. It worked. It worked. Either that or I'm eating raw beef, right? No, it really worked. It did. So, a little over 8 hours. One of the clips, I'm sure you've seen it, there's a temperature, what the actual temperature was. It's still warm in here, so yeah. So there it is, a do-it-yourself solar dehydrator made out of a Pringles can. Can you make beef jerky using a Pringles can? Yes, you can. Yes, you can. Very interesting to know. Now, obviously I could cut longer strips, one single long strip if I could cut better. I could put a lot more. You could marinate it. You could add whatever flavors you want. Teriyaki, you could add soy sauce. I mean, you know how to make jerky, right? Maybe? Do you? No, I know how to make jerky, because I just did. First time I've ever made jerky. So I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Give me a like if you did enjoy the video. I'm probably going to keep eating this. This is good. I'm a meat fan. But yeah, it works. I'm kind of surprised, to be honest with you. I really am. I thought with, you know, it wasn't that hot today. The sun, it was, you know, hazy, and it was cloudy part of it. I mean, some of the day it was actually cloudy. So yeah, cutting it as thin as I did with pieces like this is really what did it, because yeah, even the fatter piece, but as small as they are is really what did it. If you cut it small and thin, obviously it's going to dehydrate better, and it worked. It worked. Go figure. Alright, so yeah, Pringles canned jerky. It's not sour cream and onion flavor. It's not. Trust me, it's not sour cream and onion flavor. It's peppered. It's just not enough pepper. I should have added a lot more pepper. Keep that in mind if you do it. Add a lot more pepper. If you like it peppered. Alright, this has been Grim Survival. Remember, give me a like. Thumbs up the video, because I did something constructive for once. Instead of just flapping my jaws, I actually did something constructive. I plan on doing more survival hack videos. Debating on whether I'm actually going to put them on Patreon or put them on here. I'll probably do a little bit of both. I need more Patreons to actually put Patreon things on Patreon. Yeah, so link is in the description. And this has been Grim Survival. I will see you next time. Assuming I'm still alive.